the shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that life to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
This is a nice crowd. It's a great honor. The room's packed outside of this hall. If anybody would like to give up their space, let other people come in, please let us know. We'll take care of it. It's a tremendous celebration. Thank you very much. And hello to CPAC. We've been coming here a long time, and it's gotten bigger and better and more beautiful. And thank you very much. It's a big election going on today. You probably have read a little bit about it. And I'm supposed to be in a slightly different location, not too far away, but nevertheless, it's different. And I said, no, I'm sorry, I have to be at CPAC today. And I want to thank Matt and Mercedes Schlapp, two great people, along with the entire staff. Thank you very much. Mercedes, that's what it is. It's a conservative union. It's also a union of common sense. I've been saying it more and more. We're conservative. It's common sense. And I don't know, maybe we'll have to put that man on the bottom. I mentioned a few. President of Argentina, who's gotten a lot of publicity. He's a great gentleman. You know, he's MAGA. He's MAGA. Make Argentina great again. And when he said, I am MAGA, then I realized he's one of the few can really do it well. Make Argentina great again. Javier Milei, Hung Cow. He's got support. He's got some support. A man who is tough and smart. Thank you. Thank you. We've made a lot of progress, too. Number 2 and number 1 very shortly, it seems like. That's what I'm reading. Let's see if, you know, a lot of it's fake news, so we can't go by everything. But that's what I'm hearing. Federal Deputy from Brazil, Eduardo. North Carolina GOP Chair, and I think he'll be probably going to a national. They just gave me their award. They just thank you for that wonderful award. How about respected economist. Thank you, Steve. And a man who I've had respect for certainly a long time. I won't tell you how long, too long. But somebody that I've listened to over the years, even when he was on CNN. That's when people used to watch CNN a lot. He always had the #1 show. He's an incredible... I agree with you. But he's an incredible guy, an incredible mind that loves our country. And we have Tom, we have so many people. Tom, stand up, Dannon, where the hell is Dannon? Oh, he still looks good. Tom always, I want to win the award as the best, whatever the hell they call it, the best speaker, I think they say. Who made the best speech? And if I had to keep introducing people, I'm not going to win it this year. I've won it like 9 years in a row, right? I got to get going. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate it. For another warning, and we've been right about so much, just about everything. If crooked Joe Biden and his thugs win in 2024, the worst is yet to come. Our country will go and sink to levels that were unimaginable. And just think about it. With 4 more years of Biden, the hordes of illegal aliens stampeding across our borders will exceed 40 to 50 million people. Medicare, Social Security, health care, and public education will buckle and collapse. It will collapse. As sure as you're sitting or standing there, it will collapse. Our economy will be starved of energy by Crooked Joe's vindictive Green New Scam. It's a Green New Scam. It'll be the destruction of our country. It is indeed a scam, and most of them know it. Some of them, the fools, believe it, but most of them know it. Millions of manufacturing jobs will be choked off into extinction, and you'll have constant blockouts and blackouts and rampant inflation. Ruthless gangs will explode even more into the suburbs. And when they talk about suburban women, they're going to love me sociology, and it is brutal indeed. It is brutal and horrible, like nobody's ever seen before. It takes over our schools. China will dominate us, not just economically, but militarily, and that's what they want, and that's where they're heading. But they weren't heading there with me. I took over $400 billion out of China, and they weren't too happy about it. And then all of a sudden, we had the China virus. Now, I happen to think it was incompetence, but a lot of people disagree with that. And a declining Crooked Joe Biden. He's the crookedest, most incompetent president in the history of our country. Be in World War III, we'll be losing World War III, with weapons the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. These are the stakes of this election. Our country is being destroyed, and the only thing standing between you and its obliteration is me. It's true. Tough guy, smart guy. He made a statement recently. He said, you bring back Trump, it'll all stop. They all listened to Trump. They respected Trump. He actually said it stronger than they said they were afraid of Trump. I don't want people to be afraid of me. But he said China was afraid, Russia was afraid, they were all afraid of Trump. Bring him back and it'll all go back. And I will tell you, we had things at a level that nobody's ever seen before. We had no wars. We had defeated ISIS, got rid of the worst terrorists in the world, you know that. And solely defeated, we took 100% of ISIS gone. And then we had no wars. For 4 years, we had stop wars from happening and brought our troops back home. We got out of these ridiculous, endless wars, killing people on both sides, costing trillions of dollars. Crooked Joe and his henchmen have you trapped, and it's an express train barreling toward Serbia. A vote for Trump is your ticket back to freedom. It's your passport out of tyranny, and it's your only escape from Joe Biden and his gangs fast track to hell. And in many ways, we're living in hell right now. Because the fact is, Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. But as a proud political dissident, I am a dissident. Remember this, I've been indicted more than Alphonse Capone, Mr. President. You know who that is? Even the president just said, I do. Scarface, Al Capone. If he had dinner with you, and he didn't like the smile in your face, he thought you were mocking him by smiling, you would be dead before you got home and said hello to your wife for bullshit. In banana republics, not in the United States of America. So it's very dangerous, and they are indeed a threat to democracy. And I'm here to unleash this captive nation from Joe Biden and his gang of very bad people, very sick people, smart people, intelligent people, but they're hell-bent on the destruction of American freedom. It's happening in our country, and it's so obvious. I have people come to see me from other lands where this has gone on, especially in South America, Latin America, and they'll say, the same thing happened to my country 20 years ago. It was the same thing. It's all happening. And if we don't stop it, this is it. 2024. If we don't stop it, this is our last train. If we don't stop it, we're going to have a country. It won't even be a country. You want to know the truth? It won't even be a country. It's breaking up. If we can break out of the Biden nightmare, and it is a nightmare, he's the most incompetent. That means they want to destroy our country. But who can win an election when you have that? Who can win an election when you have high interest rates, you can't buy a home, when you have bad education, where everything's woke? We did things that nobody can imagine. So many things. 1,000 elements we did. We have a book, the 1,000 things. We did things that nobody could even imagine. And then all of a sudden, something very bad happened. Israel would have never happened. The attack on Israel would have never happened. Remember, Iran was broke. A lot. I got along with them well. Although he did announce the other day that he'd much rather see Biden as president. And I agree with him. I agree. Because, you know, I ended Nord Stream, right? I ended Nord Stream. Nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2. That's the biggest pipeline in the world. Going into Germany, what's that all about? We defend Germany and Europe, and then they go and pay billions of dollars to the people that we're defending them against. How do you figure that one, right? He approves Nord Stream, but he kills Keystone Pipeline, right? He kills Keystone. He approves the Russian pipeline, the biggest in the world. Billions and billions of dollars a month come flowing in. But he ends the Keystone XL pipeline. And then they say, Trump is too nice to Russia. I'm nice. I'm the one that gave him the 100 javelins, the thousands of javelins that knocked out the tanks, but they knocked out 100 tanks in the first 2 days with javelins that I gave. Remember, they said Obama gave pillows and Trump gave javelins. And then they say, oh, Trump was so nice to Russia. No. Putin would say, if you're being nice, I hate like hell. What they've done is unthinkable. What they did with the border, allowing these people to flow in, is unbelievable. But to achieve a great future, we first have to throw off the chains of our out-of-control political class, and that begins with telling crooked Joe Biden, you remember The Apprentice? Crooked Joe Biden, you're fired. Get out of here. Get the hell. You're destroying our country. You're fired, Biden. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here, this guy. He goes after his political. Thank you, Gordon. He's a super rhino. I couldn't get it through Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell. They said, sir, if you wait till next year. I said, you sure? He said, don't forget I had never done this stuff before. You know, I'm still the president, and these guys are bullshitting me. He said, sir, if you would just sign this budget and wait, next year we'll put it in the Corps of Engineers. Did a great job. But I built it through 571 miles and 200 miles ready to go. It was laying there ready to be installed. It would have been 3 weeks. The entire thing would have been done. He's very close to being going more fuel than that. Whatever happened to the cocaine they found in the White House? Where is it? By the way, I have to say, because I have such respect for this audience, and CPAC, I would have never spoken, and I never did, about him because of my respect for the office of the president. I have great respect for that office. But once I got indicted the first time, remember that? I got indicted, and I got impeached twice. We won that. And we'll win all of this stuff. But once I got indicted, I said, well, now the gloves have to come off because they did something. Those, you know, the fake news, before these indictments, the fake news, almost everyone, well, he'll never be indicted. You don't do that. He was a very popular president. You know, I got more votes than any sitting president. Not let this continue to happen. So we can break out of this Biden nightmare. It's a nightmare. country is no longer respected. We're laughed at all over the world. We have to break out of the nightmare that we're in. And we have it in the grasp to make America richer and safer and stronger and prouder and more beautiful than ever before. I think we have a final shot at it, but if we don't do well in this next election, or if they cheat enough that they can steal it, which is, I think, the only way they can win. Who the hell can win when you have 16 million people pouring into our country from places unknown? We have countries that nobody ever even heard of, from all over the world. Yesterday they had many people caught from prisons in, you remember this, right? Prisons in the Congo. Let me tell you, the only good thing is they make our prisoners and our bad gang members look like very nice people by comparison. That's from these judges. There's no way you get fair trials. The level of hatred from prosecutors, when they know you've done nothing wrong, it's sick. These are sick people. The only crime I've ever committed is defending America and those who want to destroy it. I will fight those who want to destroy it. The tyrants, fascists, scoundrels, and rogues. The more the corrupt establishment tries to stop us, the more you know the day is near at hand when we will break free from their grip. We're going to break free very soon. We're going to break free from their grip very soon. Anything like it. Carpenters, mechanics, lawyers, firemen, policemen, military people. They went to protest a rigged election, and they've been sentenced to years in prison. When they burn down Portland and they take over a vast section of Seattle, and they burn down Minneapolis, and I had to watch television as a CNN reporter is standing saying, this is a peaceful, Minneapolis burning to the ground, this is a peaceful protest. And then he got hit on the knee and he went down. It's crazy what's going on. And I'll tell you what, if I didn't bring in the National Guard, because the governor didn't want to do it, I'd never want to do it. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, I wish I didn't wait 6 days, but if I didn't bring in the National Guard, you wouldn't even have a city there. You wouldn't even have, that city was going down. They'll only motivate us more to make America great again. We have to make America great again. That's our mission. People say, what is your mission, sir? I remember when Ted Kennedy, he was actually a friend of mine, slightly different viewpoint on mine, but they asked him a question, it took him down. What plans do you have for America? Why are you running? And somehow, that's a much harder question than you think, because you're answering all the little details. Then they ask, what are your plans for America? It took him down, actually took him down. I just say, my plans are very simple. Make America great again. That's all I say. Send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home. We'll do all of those things. We're going to have to do them fast, because no country can sustain what's happening in our country. You look at New York, where I originally came from. I love New York. And you take a look at what's happening. Hundreds of thousands of people, they've taken over the streets, Madison Avenue. They've taken over Queens, they've taken over Brooklyn and the Bronx, they've taken over the whole city. The little leaguers can't play anymore because people are there that can't play. But it took longer than I thought, but I predicted this. It's called the migrant crime, and it's far more deadly than anybody thought. They will actually have fistfights with police in the middle of the street. You saw that the other day, where they attacked police. Even our bad criminals, they never had fistfights with the cops. They do things and they talk and they shout. But these guys are actually, and the interesting thing? In their country, and they came from prisons and jails, they came from mental institutions and insane asylums. No, they're not the same thing. An insane asylum is a mental institution on steroids. It's Silence of the Lambs. Hannibal Lecter. They're all being deposited into our country. And then you have terrorists, and then you have drugs, and then you have human traffickers. And they're coming over at levels never seen before. We've never seen anything like this. 3 years ago, we had the safest and most secure border in U.S. history. We ended catch and release, except when it was catch and release.